Go ahead. This is fine because I'm just gonna turn my camera around. Peace. No, not today. Peace, everybody. What's up? This is your man Dvs Imaad. It's Retired People's Behavior. My apologies for the tardiness. I was actually sitting here contemplative about quite a few things. One of those things was, should I continue to do this? But I think I will continue to do it. I think. We'll see. But the other thing that I needed to address prior to getting on with this show that we have planned for you today, we have a wonderful young lady. I'm going to let you meet her really quickly before I get into my quick rant. This is who this woman was introduced to me a moment ago as Iris Badu, which is not her, which I'm sure is not her real name. But when you see that in the headline on the video, you'll know that this is who that's who we're talking about. I will friend her later and make sure that I can tag her in the video and everything. We went directly into conversation as soon as she came in. Like, her energy filled the room immediately, and we just began conversation. So it was like, all right, I'm gonna finish this conversation, but I got to do this video. So that's Iris Badu, and we will be back with her in a minute. There's one thing that I needed to address really briefly before I get into this segment of Retired People's Behavior. And please say what's up to my co-host, Just Joy, right there. There she is.
Peace. What's good, Brick City? Just Joy in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Another episode of Retired People's Behavior. Right now, because my brother has something he wants to say.
It's okay. That's all right. It's all right. You know how we here for the people.
I do, but
you know what I mean?
You have to say it's important.
It is. It's important to me anyway. So anybody... first of all, I need to thank Magic's Royal Production for allowing me to MC for the Warinaco Park House Music Festival a couple of weeks ago. It was an event attended by 40,000 plus people. House music is my thing. So there were some things that I'm sure people didn't understand and they weren't explained prior to the festival. So I am going to do my best to, without going into a whole lot of detail, I'm going to try and just say my piece because I haven't. And y'all know me, I like to say my piece. But, first of all, I don't know all of the events, and I'm not going to comment on the events surrounding what happened with the host prior for that event. I really don't care, to be honest. It's not my problem or my concern. What happened, only the people who were involved know what happened, and they will work that out the best way that they can work that out. What I want to say is, unfortunately, because there were so many things happening, I did not get a chance to be introduced as the MC. So a lot of people didn't know why I was there on stage as opposed to the former MC for that event. Again, there were just a lot of things that were going on. I did speak to the promoter after, and it was just an oversight. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't neglect or anything like that. It was just an oversight because they've had the same person doing it for so many years. So, they don't expect to have to say there's going to be somebody else new who's doing it. But I came into the event unaware of all the things that were happening in the background, unfortunately. And again, whatever they are, had nothing to do with me. I honestly did not know what was going on until I got to the park. So it was very, for those people who were there and they're like, they miss how it was before. I get that. I don't have a problem with that. I understand that completely, totally, and perfectly. There was an event created and everybody was an integral part of that event. And it was very important for a lot of people. It's like going to see family. You're going to see your grandma every Sunday. You expect your grandpa to be in the house, your aunt to be at the head of the table or wherever. You know what I'm saying? Those types of things. But unfortunately, it didn't work. As we began to, stop treating these things that we do as hobbies as we begin to professionalize in these various fields of media, entertainment, and business, we'll get better with the communications and things that we have when we are hiring people, and we'll realize that even the people that we dance with on the floor are professionals in their field, and they're not just a friend that you can casually throw business to from time to time. You treat people professionally when they do something professional. So in that vein, again, I want to say thank you. If there are any questions that you have beyond that, you can inbox me. I don't think any of y'all will. For some reason, I think y'all scared of me. But no, really, I do. Because nobody, like, anytime I put something out there, nobody ever asks. Like, I put a post up this weekend, and I was like, I got time to argue. Nobody argued. Nobody argued. And people were like, well, you're telling the truth.
To argue when you don't have time.
Right, but no, it's not even that. It's not even the argument part. You're going to do exactly what I'm talking about later. Right. You're going to do the exact same that I'm talking about later. So if you're going to do it, obviously you have an opposing opinion. Why don't you voice it now? We can get that all out and, do all of that here. But, whatever the case is, I invite you. I'm not unapproachable, inbox or otherwise, to anything. If you have any questions, I'm here to, enlighten you if I have the information it is that you need. But again, I'm sure the energy was different. Obviously, when I got there, I was given a set of information that I had to work within the bounds of. And what you saw, my performance on that stage or lack thereof, was a result of the information that I was given. So I was told to do a job a certain way. I did the job the way that I was told. So for those of you who think it was done just right, okay, you got exactly what you wanted. For those of you who think that too little was done, take it up with management. It's above me. For those of you who think that there was too much talking, you also can take it up with management. So with that, I am going to reintroduce my guest today.
Hi, guys.
Hold on. I didn't turn the camera right. I love her though. She's like ready. Hi guys, I'm here.
Because she is ready.
Because I'm here for it. That's what she said. I'm here for it. So this young lady was introduced to me, of course, by this fabulous young lady, Miss Fabulosity, my joy. And so I would like you to introduce yourself and tell us who you are, what you do, and what you just started doing, because I heard you just started doing some big things. So I want everybody to know about that.
Oh, great. Hey, everyone. Hey, Brick City, Newark, and everywhere else that we can reach this evening. So everyone pretty much knows me as Iris, but I am a social worker by trade. So in with the people in the trenches, especially as it relates to mental health and substance abuse, which is my particular field. So outside of that, what I've actually been doing lately is putting myself out there, putting my energy out there. You can definitely check that out on Instagram at Empr3ss. That's Empress with the second E is a 3. So look for me on Instagram. I'm pretty sure nobody else is really named Empr3ss, so it's all good. But I just know that there's so much darkness in the world sometimes that positivity needs to shine through at some point. And it's really important to be that voice and give that energy back to people. Because, you never know what people are going through. And there are days where I also need motivation, and I get it from other people that don't know that they... So what I decided to do was take that on a social media platform and try to reach people that go through things and understand that they're not the only people with these mentality or, feelings and emotions and things of that nature. So definitely check out my page is at Empr3ss. And, let's talk. Let's get the discussion going so that we can make some good choices for our lives, okay?
Okay.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy.
Thank you for having me.
Because when you said that, it's important that we put out a certain energy. Mm-hmm. I caught it. This is interesting to have you here with us today and for you to be embarking on your Empress Light journey, because I know you be a private person.
Yeah.
I know you can be, you like to serve, you like to work or whatever, but on the low though. So for you to have brought your energy and your positivity to social media is so awesome because, like you said, we need it. And I'm used to getting from you, so I'm just so excited that everybody else can.
Right.
Talk a little bit about how you transition from, again, being a little more low key and never on social media.
Never on social media.
To bringing forth your gift and walking in this journey.
I'm sorry, I'm like blocking my life too. I think honestly, and I'll be very honest about this.
This is what I do. Just join me. I can get you on me a phone.
Oh no, okay. I'm trying to get these angles too.
That's a time.
Angles. Hey. No, you know what it is? It's really taken me a long time because for a very long time I was working on myself, but with my head down. You understand? Okay. Like, I don't know if you can relate to that, or I hope I can explain it in a way that makes sense. Sometimes when you are, working and just like trying to figure out life, your own life in general, you gotta work with your head down. Right. And for a very long time, I was working with my head down. And, I was getting in contact with different people from different walks of life, and everything that they were putting into me was like, yo, like, you're gonna be my boss one day. You understand? Like, so I noticed even with my partner, they poured life into me more than I realized that it was being poured into me. And I realized that through searching of self, there's something that I'm supposed to give back. There's this purpose that I'm venturing into and that I'm stepping into. So as nerve-wracking as it is to present your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions to the world, I decided that it was something that needed to be done. And as I stated before, I'm a social worker by trade. Like, duh, what do I do? I work with people all day long. Exactly. Like, I am the vessel. Like, I'm not a mathematician where I'm using calculators or, spreadsheets and things like that. My tool is me.
Right.
So what better way of utilizing that tool outside of the scope of the work that I do? So that's how this whole thing came about. So shout out to Issa, because he pushes me. Oh Lord. You know when somebody just pushes you? Just push, and then you're like, wait a minute. Wait, I don't know if I want to be this pushed, like this hard. I don't know if my soul is ready for this kind of thing. And then it just like open the door and push you out. Like a baby, a mother pushes the bird out the nest when it's like, all right, you got enough feathers to fly. It's time for you to fly. So it's really important to have those kind of people in your life as well. And I'm very thankful to have those support in my life. And so I just want to, share that with the rest of the world, man. I want to put that out there. And like I said, because I'm really focused on mental health and, I don't came across some things. So
indeed,
it's really interesting.
That's what I want to ask about. I'm sorry. Did you?
No.
Okay.
I take cues very well.
Okay. That Baptist thing ain't one. Yeah. You just said that you've come across some things. There was a post that I put up maybe late last week about mental health in young black men. What have you come across in this area that we as a community need to focus on?
That's a loaded question.
Mm-hmm.
You know he the one with loaded.
It's definitely a loaded question. And the reason why I'm saying it's a loaded question is because with that, the gender itself, young black men in this area,
mm-hmm.
it's not spoken about. Like it's underrepresented. And it's sad to say that because Our young black men are going through so much and nobody speaks about it. Okay? PTSD, all right, which is traumatic stress syndrome. Sorry guys, little lapse in brain, been working all day. Let's take that, and I'm not going to say something that easy because it's really not, those are generally set aside for or diagnosed in people that have experienced trauma, whether it's like a really bad car accident or rape or, it's a bad thing, or combat, right? Mm-hmm. Our young black men, and let's take the city that we're living in the city of Newark, are experiencing the same exact thing as being in combat. If you can tell me of your friend or your comrade or however you want to identify this individual as getting killed in front of you, and we take that as it's nothing, first of all, okay, that's not normal, all right? This is not the kind of death that is spoken about when we say, somebody's gonna die, you prepare, you want your grandparents to die. Not want, but you expect, that's spoken on, that's expected. Grandma and grandpa are gonna die one day. And it's almost like a positive transition. However, when you are going through this transition or experiencing this transition of life and it's not timely and it's horrific and it's downright bloody, it poses the same exact thing as an individual that is in combat. That's just what it is. All right? If I sign you up for the military and you go out there and you experience your comrade, your brothers, your sisters being murdered, I'm going to say, listen, you have gone through something. That is AKA trauma. And that trauma also needs to be recognized in our community. This is not normal. It is not normal. Okay? This is not a normal scenario, and it's something that we need to talk about. Our young men are being re-traumatized day and day and day and day, over and over again. And there's such a thing called re-traumatization, you know what I'm saying? Where we don't heal, but then we keep going. We experience it again. So we're building up, and building up, and then we say, oh my God, he snapped. Well, no shit.
What happened?
Right.
Well, no kidding. He
Pressure
snapped.
bust pipes. Down.
Hello. So where does the conversation start? Where do you wait until they're sitting in front of me because they are in the prison system? Do you wait that they're sitting in front of me because they're addicted to drugs?
Do you wait until we're sitting in front of them at a funeral?
Or do we start having these conversations, whether it's home, whether it's churches, whether it's the masjid, whether it's the mosque, whatever it takes to save these souls. It's about time that we kick this into a hyperdrive because it cannot be ignored. There's too many young men that I come in contact with, and it's a repetitive cycle of pure numbness. If you are numb from death and repetitive death, there is something wrong with that. That means that your level or your brain is not giving off the right chemicals. You have blocked out this serotonin that's supposed to measure this fight or flight scenario. It's become dull. And when people feel dull, what do? Start using drugs? Because they need to feel alive. But we're not talking about the underlying reason to why they're feeling dull. So, circling it all the way back around. Certainly, it's a conversation that needs to be had point blank, period. Like, we have brothers, we have nephews, and this, I know you just asked me about the young men, But even these young ladies as well.
Talk about it.
Yeah, they.
Talk about it. No, tell the truth, because the people that are watching have kids that they haven't met outside outside of their homes. So I need you to introduce them to their children outside of their homes.
And you know what's so funny? Before, as you get your thoughts together, I'm Taylor Swift. You don't know that about this, but I'll jump in a heartbeat.
Yes, please.
The thing that's so interesting about what you said in terms of, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. People not realizing or know who their kids are. You know, we're doing this documentary about a young lady that I know that OD'd, and I spoke with her family a few times, and I had questions and I had answers, but they kept saying stuff like, "Oh, well, I was surprised when I heard this, or I didn't see that." Ho. How could you not have seen this person when they came around? Mm-hmm. We knew certain things, and I'm not gonna put the business out there, but we knew certain things and could clearly see others. Right. How could you not have? What did you not want to see? Because that's what it has to come down to. Because I didn't see the young lady as often as her grandma did. And for her grandma and her father to say, "Oh, we had no idea," you can't tell me that.
Mm-hmm. You know what it is? Sometimes I think that for our African American community, our Black households, we want to pray it away. You see? We want to pray them problems away. We don't want to go in front of the congregation with it. We don't want to bring our truck. No. If I may, we're fucked up.
You may.
You may.
We are. And I say that as a collective whole because if you're down, I'm down too. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there is no I without the rest of my brothers and my sisters. And I think that's also what our community lacks. But when it comes down to individual families and touching on what you're saying and not knowing who your children are outside your home, like I've come in terms with that. Like I'm raising 4 sons in the city of Newark.
Wow.
And it's just like, bruh, I know when you're not around me, you be cursing and doing all this carrying on. Like, I'm not naive, I'm not stupid, I'm not any of that. Like, let's get out of this notion of being shocked. Oh my God. No. Have these conversations, because being in this field, what I've noticed and what I've started doing in my household is having these hard conversations that our parents would have never dared have with us. I mean, talk about what? Drugs? No.
You just better not do it. I better not see him in my house.
You better not do it. Okay, they're gonna go do it.
Right. Just because you said.
Because you're not. Why? Like, let's talk about these things. Like, I literally bring my work home because I need my children to understand that I'm not just talking just to talk. Like, my kids will see my, past clients in the streets. Like, oh my, that's your, yeah. Like, this is real life.
With a dirty coffee.
You understand? Yeah, like, this is real life. This is real life. Like, mommy's not making it up. This is not, I'm not painting a picture. No, this is not, this is real life. These are people's lives.
And it's even scarier than I'm willing to tell you.
Absolutely. And I think that, again, we have to change the rhetoric of things going away. I am so sick of the heat in our household, under the rug, and it's like this.
I've recently been posting really satirical things on Facebook, and I have an issue with people coming at the gay community just because I'm sensitive. All right, leave us alone. We ain't messing with y'all, leave us alone. But particularly because, we catch a lot of flack in my community, but that uncle who like to have his nieces sit on his lap, nobody says anything for generations and generations. And speaking of PTSD and re-traumatization, that one uncle is way more serious and important and dangerous to us as a community and these little kids than me and my rainbow and my girlfriend. So I really have a hard time when people say stuff. So I'm on the internet, it's just like, before you come for the gays, just make sure you get Uncle Jay out the back room with them kids. Okay? Let's talk about it, because we know he back there. Okay, when are we going to open that door?
Right.
And let them kids out. I don't even care about Uncle Jay. I do, but that's his business. Right. When are we going to set our children free with knowledge? Right. We got to set them free.
Absolutely. And I think it's fear.
It has to be. It's only two motivators.
That's just what it is. It's fear that we know but don't either want to speak on it, or it's fear that we don't want to know the ugly truth. And fear will keep us paralyzed from good, bad, or indifferent, any action that it is that we want to take in life. And I think that it's about time we stop that, because we are creating people. And when I say people, it's not, we are a host, these are shells, but our souls is the person, you know, and that is the way that I view people. What is your soul bruised? You know, what is your soul? What is your soul looking like today? Because that's that person that needs to be mended. You know, and we have to talk about these things. You know, mental health comes in so many different forms. Like it comes in it's so vast. In you know, in topic and things of that nature, but it is something that needs to be talked about. Like I'm kind of really tired of us not speaking on things. I think that it's really important that the conversation needs to start somewhere, and I'm willing to start the conversation.
Well, we starting it today, for real.
Yes, and by the way, this is Minority Mental Health Month. I know it's like closing out, but before like I started Empr3ss Light, it is something that I was starting to touch on. So yes, it's a whole month. The month of July is Minority Mental Health Month, and I think that it's really important that itself was generated. Because again, we don't like to talk about these things. We like to pray them away. And please don't come for me, okay?
No, we don't do that.
Please don't come for me.
All your emails.
Shade alert.
Right. Send them to Dvs Imaad at gmail.com.
But this is what I'm saying. I definitely do believe in mind, body, and soul. I'm not saying, you know, that's happening. What I'm saying is that is not enough. All right? We need to start putting on the boxing gloves with the prayers. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Now, we talked about young men. We need to talk about the young black women and the effects that I want you to go into the effects of not just mental health, but drugs and mental health and young black women. And wherever you go from there, that's where we at.
Oh, Lord. Okay. So, working with women is always very sensitive. It's like a really like touchy and sensitive spot for me. And I think maybe it's because I can over-identify because I am female. So, sometimes the trauma and the emotions and the things that they do go through could affect, you know. However, when it comes to my females with substance abuse and mental health, boy, oh boy, oh boy. The only thing that I will say is that at least the conversation is open, okay? It's almost expected for females to be bruised.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Wow.
Like,
unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry to kind of put that out there. Guys, it is a double standard. Sorry, I love you, my females, but there are certain things that there are double standards attached to it. And females are expected to be bruised. But I think in the same token, with that bruise comes some repairing. I think that door is open more for the repair for women. But they have to be willing to fight that fight. See, my females put up a fight, boy. Oh, they put up a fight. I got goosebumps because they fight, child. You don't know. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Love Muffin. But let's go through this. Like, what do we do? And I just want to put this out here. Don't kill me. Shade alert. My black men, please stop introducing substance use to my beautiful black females. Because once y'all step off that plateau, she's still getting high. And there's so much that comes along with that. Stop introducing substances to these females. Because there is so much that goes along after the fact and after you leave the picture. I can't tell you how many stories that I hear. How did you get hooked on? Like serious drugs. Oh, my old man. Oh, my boyfriend. And young girls, this is for you. Say no to pills.
Stop having survival sex for pills. Sorry.
Okay, let's do that together. Say no to pills.
Hold on, let's do this one.
Let's talk about.
Let me get both of y'all in the frame.
Let's talk about pills. You want to put this on?
Oh my God.
Let's talk about pills, right? Again,
No.
not to keep throwing it back and plugging it to the documentary that's called Leaving the Light, based on the true events of a friend of mine. As I'm doing the research and I'm talking to everybody, I'm talking to her family, I'm talking to her friends, I'm talking to, I shouldn't say this part out loud, but I'm talking to people in the hood, I'm talking to a lot of people, and I'm getting information. It's always coming back to, it's these pills. It's the Roxy, it's the Percocet, it's the Xanax. And like you said, to the young girls, the point of doing this documentary is to show them that it's not the aunties out here on dope that's out here getting high for the same crack or the same heroin. It's you ladies at 15 and 16 turning up every weekend and then turning up every Tuesday, having, again, survival sex for weed, survival sex for pills, and then you end up on Fremont Heights Avenue at 20 years old. It sounds like a far stretch, and it's unfortunate that we even have to talk about it.
I'm so
but
glad
it's
we have to
not
talk about this.
a far stretch.
No.
These pills, you can go first, but I've come across a lot of people, again, from the dealer's mouth. I'm not, a couple of them, I'm not going to, nobody's name is going to be mentioned, so anonymous. But, it's these pills.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing with these pills, especially when it comes to the Roxys and the Oxys and the, in those genre of pills, these are opiates. You might as well be shooting up a bag of dope or sniffing it, whatever your like is. Okay? Because they're going to get too expensive, or you're going to be trash enough that whoever you're sleeping with ain't going to need it no more. And now, instead of getting a $30 pill, you're going to look for that $3 bag. I'm telling you not to be vulgar, but this is the reality of it. This is the people that I am in contact with. These are the souls that need mending, because they didn't understand or foresee how far this was going to take them. They thought, I'm not going to be, a fiend. I hate those words, but I'm just making a point here. Or a crackhead and things of that nature. But baby, I'm telling you, because I'm not old. I'm not old.
Because I heard Kevin lost that lawsuit, so I can say as much as I want.
Yes.
Because she was trying to get some money,
She
but
was.
she lost money. The judge said you did not make that up.
So it's not about us, even in this room, not, we've had our fun, we've experienced life, but this is for you. Please, 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 and if you know your family members, your little girls out here that are using pills, I am begging you to get them help right now. Because if you allow it to progress, they will, and not they might, they will use heroin. I am dealing with children, and I call them children. You might be 20 years old, but you are a child. I am dealing with children that are so lost and cannot figure out how they got from point A to here. And then not only does that substance abuse progress, but then there's a mental health that is sat on with it. Whether it's depression, there's anxiety. Oh, and by the way, guys, come on, let this Xanax go. Like, y'all frying your brains, okay? Go to school. go to school. But it's really ridiculous, that this mental health component, because what happens is you have to come back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we literally have to rail you back into your functional self, and we hope that you can have the totality of your functionality back, because this is how serious. And then some of these pills are being manufactured not by the pharmaceutical companies. They're fake.
Wait,
They're
what?
fake. Some of these pills are fake.
What's in them?
Everything from rat to
Ajax
to
cornstarch to I don't know the recipe.
No, the reason I'm at what I'm trying to figure out, what's the active ingredient that they're using that's mimicking the high?
It's fentanyl. I can tell you that.
yeah,
It's fentanyl?
It is fentanyl.
Yeah,
So they're taking fentanyl and putting it into pills and calling it oxycodone, oxycontin,
Yes.
and wow.
Because
Which
it's
is creating this
it's super easy to get.
this flood of overdose. You know, so that's definitely going on.
Because
and,
if you can imagine something worse than just a heroin addiction or a heroin overdose, that's bad enough. So the problem with fentanyl, whether it's in pill form, patch form, or shooting up, is that it's so much more potent.
It's like 1,000 times more potent.
And for it to also be cheaper.
Yeah.
If you could get cheaper than the $5 bag, like you said, you could get a $3 bag. And it's what I hate to use the word fiends, it's what they want. So recently, again through my research for the documentary, over the last summer, there was a story about a bust in Harrison, where they got 500 bricks of fentanyl, but only 2 bricks of heroin. So that's telling you that the dope that was on the street wasn't even dope. No. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where the problem is coming in. Because as a user, no matter what it is, you have a tolerance. So if you're used to, a certain grade of heroin, and you come across a certain grade of fentanyl, you might not be able to get up off that stoop. Yeah. And that's what's happening to, like you said, younger and younger people.
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate. And we're not, like you said, aware even of the fact that it's bad enough that there are good drugs. Yeah. But now there are fake bad drugs.
Yeah, fake bad drugs. It's like, it's fake, baby. It's not real no more. But, I just wanted to put that awareness out there, because I think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, and this might just be my perception or my perspective, I almost feel like, and I'm gonna say the younger generation feel like being on pills is more acceptable than being on crack cocaine or heroin or powder coke.
But even nowadays, powder coke is making a resurgence.
That powder cocaine is definitely doing
that
something for
lobby
young
is
kids.
coming back.
Yeah. Yes, it is. They anyway.
You look shocked.
You really do.
I do.
But yes, you do. But I really
hold on. I need to see this. Hold on. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Oh God, I didn't realize that was I was making.
Yes.
Yeah.
You definitely look shocked.
But, I don't want the babies getting high.
No, it's really sad. It's really, really sad. However, we have to talk about these things. We have to let them know, like, baby, I see you. You know what I mean? I see you, but now I need you to let that go and come on back over, honey. Let me hold your hand. And let's walk across this healing bridge together.
So what age do you think we need to start having these kind of conversations? So if you were going to, again, address these hardcore
middle schoolers.
That's what I know.
5th grade.
That's what I know. But we're scared to even have conversations with them about what's happening with their bodies, regardless of what's happening with their minds.
That's a whole different conversation.
No,
like 5th grade.
I was about to say that into the camera. Fifth grade. That's all right.
5th grade. Okay.
Now, why do you say 5th grade? For parents who may have a 3rd grader or a 2nd grader or a 4th grader, and they may want to, jump ahead. Why do you say 5th grade? Because
by that time, their peers start to be more influential than you are as a parent.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it again. I'm sorry,
guys. No.
Please don't
No. You good. You all good.
But at that time in the development of children, their peers become more influential than you are. And that doesn't mean that you are not raising your children properly. You just don't know who their friends are and what kind of household that they're coming from. So you have to be open to that imagination as an adult. Think about your own childhood. I mean, come on now.
Right.
How many friends of ours that our parents say, you don't need to be hanging with them, and how much harder did we want to hang with them?
They never met none of my friends. We was always home.
But how much harder did you want to hang with those people? And how much more information and attachment did you want to create with those no good friends of yours? You know what I mean? It ain't changing. It doesn't change. Generation and generation, again, the time will stand still. Nothing changes.
So when you have a kid and you see that this kid is hanging out with someone nefarious, you don't want, what as a parent, as a social worker, as a person who deals in substance abuse and mental health, what would you sit down, a fifth grader, how would you begin this conversation? What would you say to not make them go in the opposite direction that you want them to go?
Right. I think that at that point we need to be open with our children, and more so in a conversation was like, hey, I don't know what you and your friends are doing, but let me share a couple of X, Y, and Z. Have you ever heard of marijuana? I'm sure they all have, you know. I've showed my kids what it looks like. I've showed my kids, what people, the effects of different substances on people. Like, no, for real. Because I need you to understand, I need you to know what crack cocaine looks like. I need you to know what powder cocaine looks like. I need you to know what heroin in different grades look like. Because I don't want your friends to show you and be like, yo, I got my mom's sugar, bruh. That shit be putting her down. Not fam. Not mine. You understand what I'm saying? So let's not be shy, okay? And I think you said this earlier. If we're not even having conversation about what's going on with their body, how could you not have a conversation with what's going on with your kid's body and then think that they're going to stay away from drugs or kids that are... It doesn't make any sense. And I know I was one of those kids that was like, I wish that, my parents were a little bit more transparent. And I'm not saying be your kid's best friends and stuff. You better strike the fear of God into them. That's what we're missing too, but that's a whole different conversation. However, I definitely do think that there's a time and place where lessons need to be more proactive than the punishment. Because once it has gone left, it's going to take you a lot longer to bring it back right, opposed to trying to do it from the beginning. So that's definitely, a thing to do, or the way to go about it. I mean, and everyone is different. I don't know what people's households are like, but just try talking to your kids, man. I don't care how grown they think they are. If they're living in your house, they ain't that grown anyway. But that's a whole different conversation.
Right, you can't be but so grown at this address. There's only room for so much adulting.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. And the conversations, like I said, I can't say it enough. The conversations need to occur. They absolutely have to occur. They need to happen, and if we don't have these conversations, we're not doing anything but hurting our children or our community. Because our children or our children's friends are the community. And when I talk about our children, please, don't let their friends out of that as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right, community.
Don't let
the
their
village.
friends, don't be like, well, just don't play with him because he bad as hell. Don't be around her because she this and that and the third. Bring that baby into your fold too.
You have to.
Bring that baby into your fold too, because guess what? You're responsible for that baby too. Just like, no offense, y'all. The drug dealers on the street corner that your babies see every day, day in and day out. What you think those imagery is doing for the kids?
You know, and I don't mean to cut you off,
No,
but
please.
there is a powerful suggestion in our community that many of us, and you just talked about it, that many of us don't take into account. We talk about people who move out of the neighborhood and don't give back or don't come back, but you fail to realize that you covet what you see every day. You're wondering. Let me turn this around real quick. I'm gonna get back to you. 2 seconds out. You wondering why your daughter only wants to hang around the neighborhood drug dealer and she'll only date thugs. You're wondering why your son only hangs out with gang members. Part of the reason is because you're in a neighborhood with drug dealers and gang members. That's who they see every day. That's who they're saying hi to as they walk to the bus stop and as they walk to school. That's who's greeting them going, "What's up, shorty? You all right?" on their way when the bigger kid is coming around. That's who they running behind when you're not walking into the bus stop. They covet what they see every day. That's why they want the rims and the sneakers. They don't understand what all of that stuff means in the greater scheme of things. Hell no. You understand what it means, but you didn't teach them what it means in the greater scheme of things. And you haven't taken them and putting them in the position where they can see a bigger picture. They only see Pookie, Raheem, the dude on the corner, the girl out there with the baby daddy who got the fly car or whatever. That's why.
Right.
And what I'm saying to you is not a fault, but you need to be aware of it. So when you decide to take your kids to what are these game places? I don't know. But Dave's and Buster's. That's cute. But take them somewhere where there's some positive black people. Take them to a black campus or a black and whack museum or just somewhere where there are other people doing other things other than the people who they see every day. Try that. And then maybe your daughter won't be 14 and pregnant. Then maybe your son won't have to get jumped into a gang just so that he can walk to school if he finishes. I'm sorry, back to our show.
No, please. I think that you made some very powerful statements, and you're absolutely right. You know, and I know that this might annoy people.
How come?
I think
I didn't mean for you know. I know you wasn't ready.
Let me tell you something about retired people. They cut you off a little tell retired people don't give a fuck.
They're just saying
anything.
Got it.
Okay? To the pastors, to the imams,
right.
to
Anybody.
the other social workers, and to whoever the hell.
Okay.
Retired people's behavior. You already know.
You already smell it.
And thanks for continuing to tune in. We love you.
Yes, we do. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. You need some breath? You need air or something? I'm sorry, we didn't take the air out of you. I'm sorry. Listen.
Let's just keep this train going.
When we talking about kids, I don't have time to be polite.
No,
that's my thing. I just don't have time to be polite. And if anybody's offended by the word fuck and you haven't grabbed a kid off the corner and brought them into safety, then fuck you. I'm sorry. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, but you're absolutely right. Like, y'all remember when if you did something wrong and Miss Sally down the street knew about it? That you was going to get scolded from her.
The village.
And your mama. And anybody else. You understand what I'm saying? And I really feel that type of community needs to be re-invoked. And please, people, with this whole, I want to talk to my kid, which brings me to this. You guys, I was really I was really disturbed the other day, and I think I reposted this. It's something that I think I saw off the Shade Room. And an 11-year-old boy was targeted and shot by a grown man. Grown man. You want to know why?
There's no why, but go ahead.
Why, darling? Why? Because these two 11-year-olds, this man's son and this boy, his name is Kayron, got into a fight. Okay? Kids, they're 11. They'll fight, live to see another day. Fight, right? Because your son lost, you took this baby's life. What are we teaching? What are we teaching? What are we teaching the generations that are coming up that it's okay, and it's damn right cowardice for this kind of behavior to be even condoned. How dare you take a baby's life, a life that has not even had the opportunity to prosper because what? Your son took an L? We all do. I don't took one or two. But anyway.
I took one. maybe 1.5.
Maybe 1.5, but
I could have took that second one, but I chose peace. I did. I chose peace.
But I think that even with that, it really sickens me because I do have 11-year-olds myself, and I thought, my God, this is a grown-up, a 28, 29-year-old man, so you know the difference between right and wrong. A baby, he's 11. And for whatever reason, him and the other child were arguing. They fought. Okay, this is what children will do. This is how you determine who's the freaking king of the pride. It's a lifelong thing that will occur.
Right.
It's not the first L that he will ever face in life. Okay? This is not it.
No.
It will happen in mid-age, in adult, in the workplace. So what are you teaching this child by that action?
Mm-hmm. What you're teaching him is to walk into a high school because one day a kid pushes him against the locker to come back with a bag full of guns, him and his friends, and shoot up the school. That's what you just taught your kid because that's the way to solve. That's the way to handle stuff.
But understand, just going all the kind of full circle with this particular story. Look at the mental health that is going to be developed in this young man.
PTSD immediately.
Not only did he see a classmate, whether they fought that day or not,
they'd have been
friends that got into an argument. Now he sees his brother, because essentially that's what it is, gunned down by his father. That you're going to be away for life.
So you lose your father and your friend.
Look at the trauma that you are putting into this young boy.
Versus just letting him take an ass whipping.
Now we gonna because we're talking about mental health. Because we're talking about mental health, let's take a step back because this is what they're gonna do anyway. Did the father have mental health problems?
We don't know. Why would we know if we don't talk about it? How can we know if we don't talk about it? You understand? We need to talk about these things. What is making you so angry that you would rather unleash that anger on an 11-year-old? Because it could have not been because your son got beat up.
It wasn't.
There is something so much deeper, but because we don't, maybe you lost your job. Maybe your girl left you, you know? So it's not even anger. There's something underlining that anger. Maybe you're hurt. Maybe it's depression. I don't know. I can only speculate. But here you are. You made a split-second decision that is about to change your life. And not only your life, the life of your family, and most importantly, your son. You have single-handedly damaged your own child. And this is something that we need to stop doing. Our behaviors will hurt our children because we don't know how to handle our own shit.
The sins of the father will be visited upon the child, and we really need to take. We think once we're dead, all the stuff that we did dies with us.
Please.
You don't realize what you've left your kids here to deal with. I want to thank you for, and this is not the last we'll see of you, right? Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. I did. I just wanted to put it out there on camera so in case something happened. Can we go to the videotape? Yeah, she smelled it. She knew exactly what was coming. Yeah, but oh my God, thank you so much. You are amazing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
For real, because you know we have experts in here all the time to talk about these subjects, and everybody's perspective is valued. You know, and every different perspective gives some other person watching this that aha moment. You know, that light bulb. Maybe they didn't hear it from Dr. Cooper, but they heard it from you. Maybe they didn't hear it from Ariba, but they heard it from you, or Miss Khan, or Miss Bay, or any of those other people, but they might have heard it from you today. And we gonna continue to talk till we get everybody listening.
Absolutely.
That's what we're here for. So Just real quick, for those of you who saw the beginning of this, no, I ain't quitting. Fuck y'all. Because there's some babies out here that we might be able to save if we continue to just talk for a little while.
Get in position.
Right.
Exactly. One more time, where can people follow you?
Oh, again, sorry. On Instagram at Empr3ss Light.
Spell it out for him, sir.
EMPR, the number 3, SS Light, LIGHT.
Okay, great. So follow Iris at Empr3ss Light. I'm going to do the same thing on Instagram. We're going to have some fun again. Just
through.
Joy.
So grateful for this opportunity to exchange energies. I'm so grateful that you decided to share, again, the energy that I know personally with everybody. I'm so glad that you stepped into a yes today to come into position because, like Dvs just mentioned, there are people who are suffering when we are not in position to do what we're here to do. And it's always personal and a pleasure for me to be on the radio and be on the air with my friends and my people that I love and that I really know. So thank you for making it your business to be down here and to share your gift with everybody. Thank you for tuning in as usual. We appreciate you for liking and sharing the video. Make sure you follow my sis and keep following my brother.
Word. Any final words or any final thoughts that you would like to give to GS Radio? Anything that you want? What I want you to, if there are parents who have a suspicion in their head that they should talk to their kids, but they don't know how to begin the conversation, is there a tool? Is there a book, a movie, something that you know? So a resource that you know that could begin that conversation with them.
Listen, this is what Google is a great tool. You know, it always has different therapeutic aids. There's actually a website, Therapy Aid, that has like worksheets and stuff like that, even for teenagers or young kids, that you can work with your children. But there's nothing better than the truth. I cannot say that enough. There is nothing better than the truth. We are not in the sugarcoat the truth, because what's going to happen is these kids can find it themselves. And if you are not willing to give them the truth, they're going to go search it for themselves. And you don't want them to discover without understanding and exploring without, explanation behind it. So, with that, please just be honest and open with your children. Answer their question, because these kids are so inquisitive. Answer their questions and do it honestly. And if you don't know, say, you know what, baby, I don't know, but I'll get back to you with that right answer. All right? Because there's nothing wrong with these kids. They can teach us just as much as we teach them. All right? And I just wanted to say, you guys, even throughout this conversation, please always understand that your children will feed off your energy. Keep it light, keep it positive, be at your highest vibration of energy, because that is what they're going to follow. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. I am a new admirer, and we will continue to work some things out. I think you have great information. You seem like a great resource. I'm so glad to meet you.
I'm so happy to meet you.
Anybody that's dear to this, dear is dear to me.
It's
right.
Dear to my dear.
So,
Dear to my dear Dorothy, yes.
There we go.
Yes, good job.
There we go. I think. All in the family now. That's what it is. So we gonna say goodbye to everybody. We're gonna say thank you for watching. I'm gonna, of course, download this video and repost it and put it on YouTube and send it to Iris and send it to Kira, Joy, and we're gonna get it out there because I think this is very important. So you'll be able to watch it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and of course check it out when I post it up on Facebook and everything. And please share the video. Share the video. Like, comment, share, repeat. Like, comment, share, repeat. That's like, comment, share, repeat. That's what we're doing. It's GS Radio. I'm Dvs Imaad. This is Retired People's Hate Behavior. This is Iris. That's just Joy. And we are real devious. We out of here. So.